I have encountered this bug multiple times, and I'm guessing you have as well. You're working on a project and you have this issue where you have some entities that spawn too close to each other and they overlap. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix this problem using a few different methods. This one's the best, but you can choose whatever you want. Okay, now the first method is actually stop that from happening in the first place, but if you have a reasonable excuse why you can't do that, like me, then you might want to switch to this method here. So what do I mean anyway? Okay, well let's say you want some armor stands, but you don't want them to spawn too close to each other. So what I'm actually going to do here is make it so I just want one armor stand in this region and one armor stand in this region. Well, it seems like an easy bug to fix. You just go, okay, so we just execute from the closest bug, and then we're just going to kill everything within a radius of 5 that's not itself. If we run that, you can see, well, it works. However, there is a small problem, and that is, well, what if there are entities stacking over here? Okay, so this time, yeah, it's not going to work for those ones. And the other issue is if the armor stands are actually overlapping, like these guys, and I were to run this command, well, it works for that guy, but I'll remove it for the sake of argument. As you can see, it's still not fixing the issue with armor stands that are directly on top of each other, and this is because of this argument here, rm equals 0. This means that if they are on the exact same coordinate, then this system will not work. Okay, so I'll get back to that in a sec. So you might be thinking, okay, well how about we just target a random armor stand so it actually varies it a little bit. So let's try that. Okay, so it's worked for these two, hasn't worked for the overlapping ones, but we'll get to that. But the issue here, just in case you're having this problem, is that every time you do this, you're going to get a random result. Now that might be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what you want, but for me, because I want my dungeons to be seed specific, that's a bad thing. Okay, this last method though, works for overlapping entities. There is now only one entity here. Okay, so I'm just going to summon 20 more armor stands to show you that this works for everything here. Okay, and you'll get the same result every time. So if I were to run this command, run it again, sometimes you have to have this running for a bit in order to make it work. It depends on how many entities you have. Okay, so we have an armor stand on the left here and an armor stand on the left here. Now if I were to run that same system again, I should expect to get the exact same result. And this is great if you want to keep consistency in your creations. So we run it and run it for a bit longer. And as you can see now, well, we have the same result. Now, if you want this to be more efficient, well, you can just double this. And I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video. If you're a nerd, then you probably guessed that this does use the stats command. So what I'm doing is I'm adding an objective, which is just called whatever you want, statCheckEntity in this case. That's a dummy objective. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to set the statEntity check score of all bugs to 0. You have to do this, otherwise the stats command just doesn't work for whatever reason. And then we have the actual stats command, so we're executing from all bugs, and then we're making them target themselves, saying, okay, every time we're successful, increment our statEntity check score. Okay, so lastly, we have a testfor command here, which is basically going to test for any bugs or armor stands within a radius of 5. Now, if there is more than one armor stand in the radius of 5, then it will just kill itself and will leave the other one behind. I'm actually going to remove this kill command here, get rid of that, and I'll show you what I mean. So, with this result here, we should expect these armor stands to have a score of 3 because they're targeting 3 armor stands within a radius of 5. And this armor stand here should have a score of 1. So if I actually run that command here, and then set my objective set display sidebar of statCheckEntity, then you will see that result. We have a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 1. And just to prove that those are indeed the values, that's the one over there. Okay, so if I were to run this again, then you will see that they're all detecting 3 armor stands within a radius of 5, like we expect. So when we run this command here, just watch what happens on the scoreboard on the side when I do this, and you'll see how exactly it works. There we go. It's kind of hard to tell what exactly just happened there, but hopefully I've explained it enough so you guys can get the idea. This will even work if you have multiple overlapping entities within each other like that, but the more entities you have, the longer you will have to run the system for. So there we have 60 entities, so we're going to have to run this for over 60 ticks. So let's just run that now. Run it a few times until it is finished doing whatever it is it's doing, and as you can see, we have one entity here, one entity here, one entity here, and therefore I have fixed the overlapping issue. Okay, so what if you have lots and lots and lots of entities that you just want to get rid of as fast as you can? So this here actually will take a few seconds before I get down to 3 armor stands like that. However, you can easily speed up the process by just taking this testfor command and this kill command and just adding more. So this means it's going to run even more commands in the space of 1 tick. So I'll just add a few on. You can add as many as you want depending on how fast you want this system to be. Okay, so we got bugs there, bugs here, and bugs here. Now this should be fast enough to get rid of all the bugs. Yeah, there we go. And it's done like that. And a warm thank you to my patrons: Dota Crusader, Peter, Mr. DemonN, Dark7, Patrick, Crazy Pets 321, Dediqated, PokeTehDoge, Corp, mblohr. Hey, I got it right that time. That's awesome. See you guys later.